Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. I have officially pulled out a cart that has been sitting in my closet for probably a year now, and I have decided that I wanted to use it once again as a TBR cart. As somebody who does not make monthly TBRs, I wanted to use this cart as a goal for myself to make a list of hopefuls, books that I want to prioritize throughout the rest of this year, and pull some books off my shelf that I want to focus on over the next couple of months. So I've started making this TBR cart and thought that I would do a video about it. And I also thought it would be fun to kind of decorate the shelves because they're all white and they're plain and they're boring. And I have a ton of bookish stickers that I can put on this book cart. So I thought it would be fun to do that, to spend the next little while organizing my TBR cart, making it look all cute and bookish, and picking out some books I want to prioritize for the rest of this year. So I'm going to do that for a little while, and then at the end of this video I'll talk about the books that I put onto this TBR cart. I already have a couple up here, as you can see. I have some book of the month books and some Halloween romances and just some other books, and I'll kind of explain maybe what my intention is with these books or why they're on here. Some of these are already up here for vlogs or book club things, those types of situations, and I will add some more, probably just these top two shelves. I do not need to be overly ambitious. I do have a Kindle as well that I'll read on throughout the rest of this year, and I do audiobooks at the same time, so we'll probably try to get a good nice row of books in these top two shelves, and I'll keep the bottom one empty for now, and we'll plan some hopefuls out for the rest of this year, maybe get some video ideas in the process as I pull books off my shelves, and we will see what happens. But I've got this brown shelf next to me. I've got, as I knock everything off of it, I've got this brown shelf next to me. I have this big white shelf behind me. This is primarily fantasy, thrillers, and like young adult things. This is all romance pretty much, and then I have one shelf across from me that I'll go over to as well that is mostly romance that I will pull a couple of books from. So the goal is to just do one row on each shelf, and we will see what I end up pulling out. But this should be a very fun and cozy time. I'm excited to do this and have an official TBR cart again. As somebody who is a big mood reader, this should be fun, but I'll have a lot of different genres up here and we'll have a lot to pick and choose from. So without further ado, let's go ahead and organize my new, not really new, but kind of new right now, TBR carts. Okay, y'all, it did not take me very long at all to figure out what I wanted to put on this TBR cart. I guess I trusted my instincts for the most part, and whatever just first stood out to me, I ended up grabbing, and I am very excited about all of these. I do also have some Book of the Month books and Aardvark Book Club books that are coming in the mail that I'll probably end up adding onto here, but I just got those since it's officially October and they haven't come in the mail yet. But these are my two hopeful stacks that I have from now, October, through the end of the year. So we'll see how many of these I can get through and if it changes at all. But I've got a little bit of everything in here, I think, so hopefully there'll be enough to get this mood reader through the end of the year, not including stuff that I'll probably read on my Kindle or NetGuy ARCs, Kindle Unlimited, etc, etc. Let's go ahead and go through these books really fast so y'all can see what I put on my TBR. I won't share too much about these books. I'll probably just list them, and yeah, that'll be all. This top shelf up here mostly consisted of thrillers. So I have If I Die Tonight by Allison Galen. This is a thriller. I got it, I forget where, maybe Half Price Books for really cheap, but wanted to put this one on my cart so I can read it. I also have The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. I just got this book. I've been seeing it everywhere since it came out, and I think it'd be really fun to read in October since Halloween and everything, but the cover is very creepy, and I've heard this one is very eerie and horrific, and it sounds like it'd be right up my alley, so wanted to add this one onto it. I also was lucky enough to get a copy of The Night We Lost Him by Laura Dave. This is the author of The Last Thing He Told Me. I read that book a couple years ago and loved it. I ended up crying at the end, and I got an ARC of it, which is very exciting. And I would love to read this book also in October very soon because I am very highly anticipating it after the author's previous book, but not sure when I'll actually get to it. Scared Little Rabbits is a thriller that I've had on my shelf for a long time. I don't remember where I got it, but it's a young adult thriller. Looks very creepy, and I think it will be a quick one to get through if I ever want to just binge something very fast. Sort of in the same vein as that one, I have Good Girls Die First, which looks like another young adult thriller. Sometimes when Barnes & Noble has their like buy one get one 50% off sale, I just look around and see if anything captures my attention, and this one did at the time that I got it, although it's definitely been probably almost a year since I first purchased it. I have 4 Book of the Month books up here as well. The first one I have is Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. This is a romantasy book, and that's all I know about it, but the cover is beautiful and I've heard good things about it. I'm not a huge fantasy reader in this current season, but if it's romance, that'll definitely help with my desire to pick it up faster. Put that down there on that side. I've also got Like Mother Like Daughter by Kimberly McRate. This is a thriller. So is First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston, and then finally Sleep Tight by J.H. Markert. I want to do a Book of the Month reading vlog, which is why these 3 books are on this TBR cart. And then the last 2 books that I have on here are Mary by Nat Cassidy and bookmarks. That's exciting. This is a horror book. Would love to read this one in October maybe for Halloween, but we'll see. And then finally a romance called Never Give Up by Rue Lennox. I met this author a couple months ago at a romance event, and I went to read this one and annotate it. I've wanted to read it since I got it. I love a good naked hardcover romance book, especially when I annotate them, but haven't had a chance to yet. But we're gonna read it by the end of the year, so it's got to happen now. My camera battery is about to die, so we'll see how long I can go on this battery still. But second shelf includes exclusively romances, and I cannot pull them out, so I'm gonna do that really fast and then I'll go through them. Okay, that was a struggle at first, but let's go through these ones super fast. First, I've got Cross Checked Hearts by Callie Mel. This is a hockey romance, I believe. I got it in my Romance Reveal book box a couple months ago. I actually just canceled that subscription because I'm not reading a ton of romance right now, but maybe reading all of these will help me get back into the genre, so want to read this one. I've got The Deal by Elle Kennedy, which would be a reread for me. My battery is going to die 1 second. Okay, we're back. Okay, whatever, it's fine. I've also got The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This one will be a reread for me. I would love to annotate it and finish up the series maybe next year, but really liked this book the first time I read it, and I think it'd be fun to reread it and annotate it now that I have the new covers for the series. I've got A Thousand Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. This is the companion novel to A Thousand Boy Kisses, which I've read twice and have sobbed both times during, and so I'm scared but very excited to grab this one. I've had it since its release, but again, have not been reading a ton of romance, and also I'm just really nervous to get to that one. But it is what it is. I've got My Darling Bride. This came in my romance reveal box as well a couple months ago, and I've read 2 books by this author and have loved them, so I thought that this one would be a very quick and fun read to get to, and something that I'd probably enjoy because I've really enjoyed the other 2 books that I've read by this author. Christmas in Coconut Creek by Carissa Kinward. I'll probably save for closer to Christmas because of the title, but I wanted to put it on my shelf as this is going from now to December, and I thought that maybe this would be a good one to pick up around the holidays. Maybe I'll do a reading vlog, reading Christmas books for Bookmas. I don't know, we'll see, but I've had this one on my shelf since probably Smut made a special edition of it a couple months ago, I guess earlier this year, maybe last year, I don't remember, but I need to finally read it. It looks very cute. I've heard really good things about this book. I haven't really read Christmas romances before, but maybe that will change this year. I've also got Love, It's Complicated by Janine Collette, also in a romance reveal box. I really need to read those books I've been getting in that subscription, even though I just canceled it because I have a bunch, but I just haven't read most of them. So I really need to change that by the end of this year. Dreams of 18 by Saffron A. Kent was my Christmas/birthday present from Stasia last year. She annotated it and read it, and then she sent me the copy, and I really need to read this one. I've read the first book in this series and really liked it. I really enjoy Saffron A. Kent's books, and I have high hopes for this one. I just need to get back into romance, you know? And it's gonna happen. That's why I've picked out all of these romances to read by the end of this year. The Bourbon Bargain by Adrian R. Hale. I read the first book in the series for a romance reading vlog a few months ago, and I liked it. I'm very curious to see what happens in this book though, because book 1 ended up ending on a cliffhanger, which I wasn't expecting, so a little bit nervous but kind of excited to get to this one. The next 2 are for a duet from an author that I met this summer. We've got September Doves by Emerson Hoyt, and then its sequel, Summer Sparrow. This one is a chunk compared to the first book, and that kind of makes me nervous, but I think it'd be very fun to annotate these books as I read them. They're small town, kind of mysterious, and I'm very curious about them after getting to talk to the author this summer at one of the romance events that I went to. Then I've got 4 more books left that I put on this cart. First is Haunted Ever After by Jen DeLuca. This is for the Mending Hearts Book Club, our October pick, and I'm also going to be doing a reading vlog for it. That should be coming out hopefully before Halloween, but we'll see. And then kind of on the same vein as Haunted Ever After, I've got Morbidly Yours from my library by A.V. Fairbanks. This is also for a reading vlog, hopefully to come out before Halloween, but very much gives spooky vibes. I think this cover is stunning, and I'm excited to get to this one. And then I've got Just Don't Fall by Emma St. Clair. This is a clean hockey romance. This is our November book club pick for the Mending Hearts Book Club, and it's on here to remind me to read it in November. And then last but not least is another reread that I have that I would love to read physically this time and annotate now that I've met the author and have fallen even more in love with this book just in my time since reading it. When I think about it all the time, is Phantom by Greer Rivers. I read this book either at the end of last year or the very beginning of this year on my Kindle, and I loved it. I was crying on a live show, I think, but I got the entire series physically because I got to meet the author over the summer, and the author signed my book, and I went to reread my physical copy now and annotate it. So that's the plan with this one. I'm really excited. I love the book. The first time I read it, I gave it 5 stars, which is so rare for me nowadays, and I think about this book all the time, so I'm excited to get to it hopefully again this year, but we will see. I have never been super great at keeping up with TBRs. I might do a little bit of a TBR something in the new year when 2025 hits regarding all these physical books on my shelves and how to get down my unread numbers, but I'm calling this my hopefuls. My hopefuls cart, I guess. I'll probably say TBR cart more often than not, but we all know I'm a mood reader. I acknowledge that I'm a mood reader and I'm not great at following TBRs, but I've got such a variety of books here that I think if I prioritize most of these, I should be able to get through a good chunk of my unread TBR here by the end of the year. I have been reading a lot more over the last couple of months, which is great. Super, super excited about that. I just need to keep up the momentum, and hopefully these books will all do that for me and keep me loving reading and not falling into a slump, because I've had a hard time of things this year overall, just trying to find books that I've enjoyed or not finding the motivation or feeling the motivation to read and just not liking anything that I've been picking up. So I have high hopes for so many of these and I cannot wait to get to them. I also added, of course, some stickers. Nothing super crazy. I have like 50 stickers still laying here on the ground that I'm not going to use right now. I have all these stickers and I want to use them, but I get nervous to like actually unpeel them. But I picked 8 that I wanted to put up here and they're very cute, so I think they add a little bit of personality to this TBR cart, even though they're all romance stickers and these are not romances up here, but that's okay. Still adds to the cuteness of what I've got going on, so love that. But this TBR cart is officially going to go find its way over into the opposite corner of my room where I walk by it every single day and will be able to pull books off of it. And these books will be yelling at me all the time to read them. They're not just going to sit there on this cart and never be read. I need to actually get to these. So very excited to prioritize these throughout the rest of this year, and fingers crossed I do it. I'll probably do a video at some point checking in on this TBR cart and seeing if I made it through a good chunk of these books at the end of this year or early next year to see if I completed a bunch of them, and we'll see what my percentage is. That might be a good way to hold myself accountable. But yeah, that's my TBR cart. I'm very excited to be using one again. I used to use one, or I used to just use it to store all my books in college, and then I think for a while I used it kind of as a TBR cart, but I just never really read anything on the cart as my mood just changes so much. But I feel really good about this, so we'll see if I keep it up. But if you use a TBR cart, feel free to comment down below and let me know how you organize it, or if you have any fun stickers on it, or if you've decorated it at all. I do also have these flowers on here, kind of dripping off the sides, which I like. But I think TBR carts are so fun. I'm just so bad at following through on using them, but this time will be different. It's going to be different, hopefully. But that's all that I have for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.